Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Wednesday, May 7th. Celtics take on the Knicks in Game 2, or they will have yesterday, as you're listening to this. And we're going to break it all down. How you doing, Sam?
Good morning. Hello. Doing pretty good. Doing okay. Excited for the game tonight. Hopefully it goes better than Monday. Had a good couple of games since the last time we've spoken. So should be a fun show. We'll go through game 2, Celtics-Knicks after it's happened. We'll talk about the rest of the NBA. We'll do the rat list. We'll get up out of here. It's going to be a fun show. Make sure you stick around through all of it because it's going to be a good time. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. We're here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps up the morning after each game, and other videos are on the channel in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics.
Indeed. All right, let's waste no time. Let's throw it over to Game 2 of Celtics-Knicks. All right, Sam and I are here at TD Garden after the Celtics' 91-90 loss to the New York Knicks in Game 2 of the second round of the playoffs. Celtics up by 20 again, blow a lead again. Deja vu, complete, almost like the exact same situation. And it just, Celtics blew it again. I mean, obviously we'll dive into anything, but at its core, it's just the Celtics blew it and the Knicks, put their balls on the table at the end of this game, and credit them. And whatever the opposite of credit is goes to the Celtics after tonight.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, they are ridiculously bad to be in this position. Like, they have no business being down 0-2, but it's not fluky anymore because they did it twice and the same thing happened and they stopped making shots. And I don't know, man, like it looked like you just replayed Monday's game. Like that's literally, the uniforms were different today. That was the only difference. They were up almost the exact same number. Like it was almost 55-75 again. It was 53-73 this time. So it was a little different, right? A little later in the third quarter, they decided to get everyone's hopes up. I don't know where you go from here, man. They humiliate themselves on this home floor. It's something they did all year. They really weren't good here the way they should have been. And they are inexplicably down 0-2 to the Knicks, the team that they manhandled all season long. Like coming into the series, the consensus was this was going to be a walk in the park. They've done everything to make it difficult on themselves. They're probably like 30 seconds of good basketball away from being up 2-0. That like they played good enough to put themselves up in an imposing position late in these games. They were up 16 in the fourth quarter too. Like it wasn't like Monday where it was quick all of a sudden down to 9 points. You blink and it's down to 9 from 20. Like Celtics did like almost enough to get there. Like they pushed it till the last second and they missed 13 straight shots from the field up until the Tatum dunk with 19 seconds left. Inexplicable. How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, before we do any like Celtics criticism or slander, which obviously needs to be done, you need to credit the Knicks. Like for all of the open shots and the good shots the Celtics hit, the Knicks hit tough shots. I actually think the Celtics, like again, I'm gonna need to do a rewatch again, like I did when I did the video for Game 1. It felt like the Knicks made a lot of tough shots. I actually don't think the Celtics defense was as much of the problem in this game. I thought Drew Holiday did a good job on Brunson. I thought him and Al did a good job. I thought they were guarding Mikal Bridges all right, but he just turned into Scottie Pippen in the fourth quarter of both these games. And you have to credit them when they step up in big moments. So like any bad things we say about the Celtics, I need to put the context of this is not like an excuse like, oh, the Knicks didn't earn it, the Celtics lost it. Like, no, the Knicks won these games. The Knicks earned these wins. The Knicks did a phenomenal job executing when it mattered, and they deserve 100% of the credit. That said, this is a Celtics show. We're going to talk about the Celtics. And again, going to have to rewatch. They missed a million open shots again. Like they got a lot of great shots and they missed them all. Like they didn't make any of their good shots. Derek White got a bunch of open threes. Jayson Tatum got some open threes in the corner. Jaylen Brown got the looks he was making all in the first half downhill in the paint. They missed them. They missed every single one. They couldn't hit their shots. Al Horford gave them nothing in this game. This might have been the worst game I've seen Al Horford play in the past 2 years. Like Kristaps was useless. He's a net negative in this series. Peyton Pritchard didn't play in the fourth quarter. Like Luke Cornett didn't play as a lot in the third quarter. Joe's rotations were weird. Like everybody who could have possibly been bad in this game was bad in this game, except for maybe Drew Holiday and Luke Cornett. Like even Jalen and Derek, who had great first halves, completely crumbled and did nothing in the second half. So like There is no, it's this one thing that did it. The Celtics completely imploded in every possible avenue they could have, and it led to a loss, right? So, again, you look at the game, and the process can be as good as it can be. It can be awesome. Like, you can get the perfect shot, you can get everything. That doesn't matter if you don't make the shot. And the Celtics didn't make the shots. Everyone's going to focus on some of these possessions where they turned the ball over, or the Tatum last possession. I don't really care about those any more than I care about the million open shots they missed. Like, there comes a point in time where you just can't be missing the shots, and they missed all the shots. So again, rewatch, more in-depth analysis is going to come, but like the initial reaction after this game, and let me, some inside baseball here, an hour after this game or 2 hours after this game, because the fire alarms went off at TD Garden, bless you, Bobby, and we were evacuated. So we stood outside and waited to get let back in, unsure if we were going to let back in. And we didn't even get to talk to Tatum because he left when it was evacuated, which is not like to say, slander Tatum. He left because the building was evacuated. But yeah, just like, the Celtics missed a million open shots, and they shot 20% from three again. And I thought they got really good shots. I actually think they did exactly what everyone begged them to, and took less threes. And guess what? They missed the layups too. So it did not matter.
I just can't believe that we just watched it happen again. Can't believe it. I don't really have like anything smart to say about this. It's the word is inexplicable. It's just like that you did it again. You didn't. I don't even think it's like they didn't learn. There was a quick 3-point happy stretch in the middle of the fourth quarter, but really, aside from that, like, it wasn't prominent. It didn't feel like the same unraveling, settling that was happening in game one. Today, it was more of like turning the ball over and just giving them life. And the Celtics are great at that. Like, they just have the Knicks pinned down, ready for the kill, and they just don't do it. They're like Batman, where like they don't kill the Joker, and then the Joker gets out and raises hell. Like, that's what this was. They refused to put these games to bed, and now they are down 0-2 in the series, having lost the 2 home games to start the series. I don't really know. I don't want to like just start talking about nonsense before we try and talk about like what happened and who played well. I mean, nobody really played well for the Celtics. Cornette had a good game. Thought he was impactful in a positive way. Besides that, maybe Drew. Drew had a pretty decent game.
I think they were both really good.
Besides that, everybody was inefficient. They disappeared at different times. I don't think Derek deserves a ton of slander. I think he did his best, but he didn't.
He missed the shots he's been making all year.
Yeah, he didn't make the shots that he was getting. I'm sorry, I keep looking up for the stat. I have the box score there. But Tatum and Brown just poof in the second half. Jaylen was on pace to have a really good game in this.
He was. He was not an efficient.
There were encouraging things from him. Like,
they
were
good.
Dunk on Brunson, and it was like, oh my god, like we haven't seen him try and jump like that since he hurt his knee.
It was good. It was good. Like, he was making more of an effort to get to the paint, but it still wasn't like efficient. Like, the Celtics offense was still inefficient despite how good he looked and despite how good it looked. Like, first half Jaylen was great. He had 17 points, but he was 7 of 16. He had 17 points on 16 shots. Like, it's good, and he was a source of offense, but listen, man, Jayson Tatum, something is wrong. Like, I don't really know what else to say outside of that. Like, it's beyond the, oh my god, he took a bad shot again. He didn't take any of the bad shots people complained about in the first game. None of them. Not a single one. He took, like, what did he finish with in this game total? Let me see before I start talking. He shot 5 of 19, 1 of 5 from 3. He took 5 threes in this game after taking what, like 11 last game or more than that, 15 last game. It didn't matter. He shot 4 of 14 from 2-point range. He missed layups. He couldn't get inside. The worst part is now, like, and I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's a in his own head thing. He is now passing up the good threes. He is like ignoring the good shots he should be taking to drive into 2 bodies and miss a layup. Like, that's what can't happen. And people aren't going to like that answer. There were like 5 times in this game that I listed where Tatum had an open pull-up 3 or an open 3 that he takes any other night, and he just didn't. He just didn't take it. And then he didn't capitalize on the fact he didn't take it. He took worse shots. Like, there's so much time. Like, people can harp on too many threes, bad threes. what's worse than a bad three is not taking good threes and then getting nothing and then getting no shot up, because a lot of those possessions where he didn't take it either ended up in turnovers or like like nothing happened. Like that's where it goes from bad to worse. And you saw that a lot in this game of like guys passing up shots they maybe normally take. Like Horford pump faked a couple. It just Derek White pump faked one. Like this was the most I've ever felt like this team is in their own heads. And this team has been historically great for the past couple of years at not being in their own heads. They were in their own heads tonight. And it's I don't know what goes like where you go from here. And again, like going back to where I started, absolutely 1000% credit to the Knicks. Have played the exact type of basketball. They've done everything possible that they need to win games. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're down 20. It matters if you win the game, and they have. And the Celtics just look like they were mentally out of it by the end of this game.
You nailed it on the head. They do very much look like they are in a mental pretzel. They just kind of don't know. I mean, that game one broke them. They were, I don't know, put however many minutes away you want to, X amount of minutes away. If they finish that game off, it feels like they squash any hope of like life on the New York side. People are like all online, like doing victory laps, like saying like Celtics media was juicing up the team. We were like, yeah, they're a good team
because everything we had seen
every single time they played the Knicks this year. They owned this team. I don't know how all of a sudden they cannot do anything right for stretches.
Well, I think
let's not even sit here and pretend that they didn't play good enough basketball to put themselves up 20 points in both these games. Like they showed that they still have it. It's not like they're coming out wire to wire and just looking like me and Jack and Bobby, Noah, and Justin Turpin out there trying to defend the Knicks. Like they're showing they have it, and then they just lose it out of nowhere.
The Knicks vastly changed the way they guard the Celtics from the regular season to now. They are living with switches that they were not living with in the regular season. And I don't know if that is like shock to the Celtics to the point where they're unable to make the most of it, but they're not capitalizing on the situations they were able to capitalize in the regular season because they're not there. They're not playing drop defense anymore. They're switching. They're not playing, I'm going to drop it. Like they're hedging. Jalen Brunson's like tagging the guy with the ball, and they're living with some of those pull-ups with late contests. Like they're playing really good defense at the end of the day. Like credit to the Knicks again, and they deserve all the credit for what they've done in the series. It's just we haven't seen good enough stuff from the Celtics. Like before going back and looking at everything, I think the biggest factor in the fourth quarter were wasted possessions of like turnovers and passing up good shots. And giving up offensive rebounds. The Knicks' offensive rebounds killed the Celtics in the fourth quarter. Whenever they got to stop, they got beat on the glass, and Cat deserves credit. And you look at the fourth quarter offensive rebounds. Josh Hart deserves a ton of credit. He got 3 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter alone. Like they just got beat in places where they couldn't afford to get beat. But before we continue, I do need to tell you about PrizePicks still. Same when I do the PrizePicks every pregame show. Make sure to check it out. It's a good time. We have fun making our picks, picking more or less on various different player props. Make sure to tune in. It's baseball season. It's basketball season. And the playoffs, so you can cash in on the basketball playoffs with PrizePicks. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your PrizePicks lineup. Points, rebounds, assists, doesn't matter. Take your pick for more or less for a shot to win up to 2,000x your cash. You can also combine players from different sports. If you want to pick someone's RBIs with someone's points from the basketball court, you can mix and match in your PrizePicks lineup, so don't miss out on the chance to do so. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks are in your game. But anyways, back to the Celtics. It just felt like they, again, like it's hard for me to sit here and like diagnose what went wrong without rewatching, because it's so like fast paced and it's so like chaotic when something is crashing down as much as it did in this game. But like Jaylen Brown 0 for 4 in the fourth quarter, Jayson Tatum 1 for 5, Al Horford 1 for 6, Derek White 0 of 3, Pritchard was 2 of 4 in his 5 minutes, then Kristaps was 1 of 2 in his 3 fourth quarter minutes. Like every possible wide open shot, and they got plenty of them. Tatum drove and kicked to an open Derek White instead of taking a step back through. Jayson Tatum got a wide open corner 3. Not like they weren't close. Like they were not close to going in. They couldn't hit their open shots. People could sit here and complain and say, just drive to the hoop then. Guess what? They weren't making shots in the paint either. Like it's not like the problem was only the threes. The shot chart of this game, if you take a look at, how the Celtics shot in the shot zones, 16 of 21 in the restricted area. Pretty good. In the paint outside of the restricted area, there were 5 of 21. Like, you can complain about the threes all you want, but you got to make something, right? Like, you can't just only get shots in the restricted area. That's not how defense works. Like, the Knicks are going to send 2 bodies there and live with some of these threes, which they did in the fourth quarter in some of these games. In this game, like, you got to make shots. Like, you have to make shots to win basketball games. Spoiler alert. This is a crazy revelation, I know, but shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they just did not look like a 61-win team in the fourth quarter of either of these games. And then on the other end, not for nothing, Mikal Bridges looks like he's a G Leaguer out there for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden, you giving up 14 points in the fourth quarter to this guy?
King
Really?
Of the fourth.
Him?
Listen, man, I remember vividly a lot of those Mikal Bridges buckets. I don't think they played bad defense. I think he hit a lot of tough fucking shots. Like, you have to make shots to win basketball games, and guess what? He hit shots. Like, he hit a lot of shots.
It's not. I'm not complaining about it. Just like that's what happened. This is just like I don't expect them to fix this. This is how you. I mean, Cat having a 21-17 game after he looked like a ghost in game 1, ghost in game 6 against the Pistons.
Al Horford cannot guard Cat.
No, he can't. Is Cat better than Embiid? Apparently.
Man, I mean,
you've got guys on the Knicks that are coin flip guys. I mean, Brunson wasn't good in this game, and you lose. This is incredible stuff that the Celtics are doing in allowing to impact a playoff series that they were, minus 1,000 favorites at the open of the betting line? I should have put my life savings on the Knicks. Oh, my God. I'd be feeling great right now. Instead, like, I don't know. We're all like, I'm in a blender. Clearly, I'm in a blender.
I mean, I think for as much as like players didn't play well enough, like we just said, Al couldn't guard Cat, and yet got to the late game, and guess who was still guarding Cat? Like, that's on Joe. Switch the matchups. Like, just don't keep going to the same look that's not working. Don't. Joe also deserves blame. There is no like fathomable, like, I have no explanation or excuse or anything for why Kristaps Porzingis played after his first stint. None. 0. Negative. He is unplayable. He is. I don't care if it's because he's sick. Keep him off the court. He cannot play. He is a complete negative. There's a point the Celtics are up by 20, and he was a minus 11. Cannot play him in this game. Like, you cannot. And you're playing him at the start of the fourth quarter and deep in the third quarter, more minutes than Luke Cornett, who was one of the only bright spots in this game. No idea what Joe was looking at. Also, listen, man, I've come on here. I've defended Joe against all of the bullshit slander, stuff I don't agree with, stuff he doesn't deserve blame for. Fouling Mitchell Robinson and then letting the Knicks take him out of the game in like the last X amount of minutes of the game. They did this
twice, by the way.
And then, exactly, they fouled him twice, wasted 2 fouls, and then OG Anunoby got to get back in the game. And your excuse being he's a plus 19? I guess. And shit, maybe because they did get 1 million offensive rebounds, so it didn't fucking matter anyways. But bad look. I guess I'll say that. Jayson Tatum looks like he is in a mental pretzel, to use the phrasing used earlier. Jaylen Brown was not efficient enough, and they didn't run this game through Jayson Tatum. Like, Jayson Tatum was not the lead guy in this game. He was like their third offensive option when it came to initiating. It was Jaylen post-ups, Derek White pick and roll, and then Tatum was like the go-to screen guy, which, listen, I get he didn't have a good game 1, but that quick? We're going away for it that quick? Like, is it because you want to get OG out of the matchup? You want to take the Knicks' strongest defenders out of the play? Like, I just don't get a lot of the stuff they did in this game and why they did it. Like, they didn't really look amazing at any point outside of that stretch in the early third quarter when they pulled ahead a little bit. Like, even the first half, it felt like they should simultaneously be winning by more and losing by double digits. It just, There's been no consistent game plan throughout this entire series. And again, I'm not turning this into the Celtics have shit all over themselves, so the Knicks don't deserve credit. Both things can be true. The Knicks deserve credit, and the Celtics shit all over themselves. They just, as frustratingly simple and not analytics or whatever you want to say it is, you have to make open shots to win basketball games. The Celtics missed open shots.
I mean, the signs were in this game from the beginning, by the way. Like, how if you had one word, unbiased, not Celtics related, what would you describe this game as? Start to finish.
Awful. Disgusting.
Rock
basketball.
Fight. Brutal. No offense.
This NBA playoff run has had some of the worst NBA basketball I've ever seen played in my life.
Exactly. So
from every team around the league, including this.
The Celtics held the Knicks to 13 points in the first quarter. They were up, 9 at the end of it?
Something like that, yeah.
They could have been up by 20. I guess you don't want to be up that much. So don't do that, actually. But they could have put this game to bed from the beginning, and they just never really took the kill shot, like, even before the collapse in the second half, right? Like, they just never took advantage of the shortcomings that were happening on the other end of the floor. The Knicks put up 91 points in this game. They won. They scored 108 points in game 1. They won. They scored 100 in regulation in game 1. It didn't cost them the game. The Celtics have had no problem making the Knicks struggle on offense. They just cannot capitalize on it. And with the Celtics being a team that is built on good offense, I think that's why we're sitting here, blown leads aside, annoyed, frustrated, disbelief, all the emotions, because it's right there. Just step through the doorway and win the game. That's all you have to do. Cross the finish line. And they can't do it. And now they're going to go to Madison Square Garden down 0-2. I sit on a fence. I would like to continue covering the playoffs. I would. I've got literally nothing else to do. I also don't really want the false hope of, like, are they going to do it? In game 3? Are they back? I felt the same way when they were down 0-3 to Miami. I was like, just please don't win game 4. Like, call it a day. I don't know if we're there yet. They've been an excellent road team this year. Like, if you really want that to be, like, the thing you hang your hat on today, go for it. Like, there's no disputing it. They are one of the best road teams in NBA history. So that's good. They have been a disaster in these 2 games. And unfortunately, they have, if they're going to push this to 7 or even 6, no, 7 is the only way, they're going to have to play 4 games in this building in the series. Not good. TD Garden, 5 stars on Airbnb. Great reviews. Everybody loves to come here. Gracious hosts.
All 3 games there in the first round. Handedly.
They did. Credit to them. But throughout the season as a whole, they have not been to standard here at all, especially compared to last season, the way they dominated in this building.
Yeah. You got to make shots. You got to stay poised. The Celtics seem like they're in mental hell right now. And I don't know
Me too.
Where you go from there. I mean, I think it's like, I think it's very possible they win both these games. Like, is it possible they steamroll the Knicks in the next 4 games? Yeah. Like, sure. Like, if they get red hot from 3 like they've been at times this season, sure. And then we'll look back on these and be like, what the fuck? That was weird, huh? And no one will think about it. What do I think is going to happen if you, like, press me for a guess? I've never seen this version of the Celtics look more checked out and more mentally, like, lost than I see them right now in this current moment. So I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. Tatum has been horrendous. No excuses. He like, there is Tatum, people can get mad. And I feel like a lot of people get the most mad when he takes a lot of shots and misses a lot of shots. They're like, just stop shooting. This is what happens when Tatum stops shooting. And it is infinitely worse. And he looks infinitely worse than when he just misses a bunch of shots. Like, maybe you can disagree. This Tatum game was 10x worse than game 1 Tatum. It's not even like in the same galaxy of bad.
The one thing I'll give him credit for is he rebounded well, and then that's a category that they really need.
Listen, man.
All the help they can get.
No matter what Tatum's doing wrong, that guy will grab a defensive board. Bet your ass. Jaylen didn't close this game well. Had a nice slow stretch in the first half there. Nothing else really went well. Derek White was the focal point, the most efficient option the Celtics had on offense for 3 quarters. Couldn't make a shot in the fourth. This is maybe I'm trying to think. In my memory, this is the worst game I've ever seen Al Horford play as a Celtic. The worst game. Not close. This is the worst I've ever seen him look in a Celtics uniform. He couldn't guard.
I don't think
he couldn't make open threes. He couldn't score in the paint. Like he was not only the worst plus minus on the team, but he looked like he was the only place he looked good was guarding the perimeter. And that is not like that should not be the only place Al Horford looks good. Like it's great. It's a nice piece of having him. He was and the fact that he wasn't the worst big man option in this game should tell you how awful Kristaps has been for this playoffs. But Al Horford was bad, and Kristaps was somehow worse.
Yeah, I
hate talking about Al, but like
it's just such a weird spot. Like now, I'm just thinking, like, well, what's next? Like, there's 2 games left, but like you're just thinking about like who's back next year. You know, like. Who's gone? Yeah. Who's not gone? What are they going to do? Are the Celtics done? Like, is this team going to get pretty much smithereens and going to have to start from square one? Like,
no defending champs made it out of the second round in the last 6 years.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be #different here, and it's not.
And it's not been different here. Crazy, man. I like it is what it is. Like, there's absolutely nothing they can do to change what has already occurred. The literal only way they can win the series is actually if they completely forget about what happened in these games and try to play the basketball that has won a championship in 120 plus games over the past 2 years. But we'll see, man. And again, there is zero part of what we have said in this podcast that should discredit the way the Knicks have played these games. I need to keep making that clear because I don't want this to turn into like the Celtics lost, like the Russell Westbrook clip. Like, did you lose this game or did they win this? No, the Knicks won these fucking games. You give them credit. They have been awesome in the spots they need to be awesome in, and the Celtics have not, and that's been the difference. So, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I don't have anything intelligent. I apologize. I was not good on this. It's like, I just have nothing like smart to say. My brain's broken.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Kristaps. I mean, maybe we did.
Yes, we did.
Oh, we did briefly.
Yes, we did.
He was that bad that I
dragged him through the mud for like 5 minutes.
It wasn't, and guess what? It wasn't enough because he has been that bad.
He's been bad. I was defensive of him when he was sick during the season and people were mad he wasn't playing. It's different to just be playing and not be good. I mean, he's still sick, but like he's not playing good. That's indefensible.
Bench has to be glued to the bench. The only good consistent players in this game that I'm not gonna say did no wrong, but did not ruin their good games were Drew Holiday and Luke Cornett. Everyone else, ass. Anyways, let's throw it over to the rest of the show.
Tuned in today, which I can't blame everybody because I don't want to think about this team either.
We'll throw it over the rest of the show. All right, welcome back. Let's check out y'all's emails. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. I believe we've had at least 1 or 2 come in since game 1. Indeed, 2 from RJ. 2 emails from RJ. Let's check them out. First one says JJ, LeBron, Luka, and ... Joe Mazzulla, ? RJ says, afternoon, folks. Lakers playoff wipeout should provide Celtics fans with some joy and gratitude, but I'm not sure the usual sense of Schadenfreude, but not in the usual sense of Schadenfreude in LA failure. No, this is all about appreciating your own coach, Psycho Joe. Psycho Coach Joe. JJ came in as a hot coach at the moment, endorsed by LeBron, and then later bolstered by the addition of Luka, and it got them a grand total of 1 first-round victory. Joe came in as a last-second evaluation to the head coach on the heels of a finals loss and was within a Jayson Tatum rolled ankle of an 0-3 comeback in the ECF his first year. Second year, he led the Celtics to lead the league in regular season wins and raised banner 18. This year, he navigates fatigue, injuries, and expectations to another 61 season and positioned Boston well for a banner 19. All of us say that coaching in today's NBA ain't easy, and we have an amazing guy on the bench leading the way. Let's all take a minute to recognize that as we bask in another Lakers failure. Be well, RJ.
The timing of some of RJ's emails is always kind of funny because Missoula's been a little bit in hot water since game one as we're recording this. I don't think anybody is overreacting to him, but, people are questioning substitution patterns or whatever else it may be that they want to point fingers at for the game one collapse. The offense, maybe the pace not being fast enough in the second half. There's so many things that people have mentioned, like maybe Missoula could have did this, he could have did that. But I agree. He was thrust into the position, has done a really good job at it since taking the job. And, hopefully the success continues this spring here.
I always think coaching, a lot of the times, like obviously there's times for it, but coaching is overrated in some spots. Like I do think it's a fair criticism of set them up for some more plays. I don't think his ATOs were the best in that game, but the people who are like, substitution pattern or they blew this, like guys on the court have to do their job. Like the coach can only do so much. And for what it's worth, also just stick with this. I think JJ's a really good coach. I think he'll be fine. I think the Lakers team just isn't really very well built right now, which is understandable given the circumstances. But regardless, second email, RJ says a reflection on Celtics fandom. Morning, folks. The Celtics loss in game one reminded me a lot of their loss against the Magic. 2 or 3 of the layups go in, and it's a notch in the win column. I'm not worried. Being a solitary Celtics fan for most of my life around Chicago and now in San Francisco, I haven't had the chance to see a lot of Celtics fandom much on a game-to-game basis until latching onto the podcast culture for the past 2 seasons. I realized we're a passionate bunch, but I didn't understand how quickly or vehemently a lot of folks turn on the SGOTM or the scapegoat of the moment. Last night, the 2 favorite targets were Kristaps and Coach Missoula. KP had another off night, followed by the revelation of his non-COVID illness, while Psycho Joe got roasted for shooting 3-pointers, followed by the revelation that he's still Psycho Joe. I understand being disappointed and momentarily distraught, but I was kind of shocked to see how toxic some of the commentary was. I'm a big fan of critical analysis and calling out poor performance, but everyone in green are our guys. I hope we can remember that. Be well, RJ. Yeah, welcome. It's been a thing. People get bad very easily, and I feel like throw Tatum into that too. People were not pleased with Tatum's shot. I think he got it more than KP did in that one.
Yeah, the Porzingis part of it is really funny, right? Because I don't know about you, going into this series, the expectations for him were definitely higher than last series. Like we all thought he would improve. But there's this piece of having him on the team where anytime he plays, it feels like you're playing with house money. Like it doesn't actually feel like if he's not good that you're losing anything, because we saw them run to a championship last year, mostly without him in the playoffs. They went through 2.5, 3 rounds, whatever you want to call it, with him with that calf strain and then the weird ankle thing that he dealt with in the finals, and they proved to be just fine without him. The problem is the rest of the team is a little different right now. Like Drew missed some games in the Orlando series. He looked good on Monday. Jaylen has been dealing with the knee thing. He had stretches in Monday's game that he looked good, stretches he did not. And I think Jaylen is the biggest pendulum swing right now where he doesn't quite feel the same as last year, and he is an essential piece of the puzzle. Not to say we should all be blaming Jaylen, but the Kristaps thing, I think, gets swept under the rug a little bit because we don't really expect anything from him as it is sad, mean, as that may sound for a guy that is making as much money as he makes. We're all just like, oh yeah, cool if he plays, I guess. But he wasn't good in the minutes he did play.
Kristaps looked terrible. It's just awful in the minutes he played. Tatum wasn't good either. Jaylen wasn't good either. I did a whole video. If you watch my video, you know how bad Jaylen was and in what areas too. I like the frustrating part was like I did my whole video on it. The Celtics defense lost in that game, and you can't convince me otherwise. Yes, the shots weren't going in, but you can control how you react to the shots not going in, and that's what they failed to do in game one. They consistently played bad defense, and the worst part was Drew Holiday, Al Horford, and Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard, and Luke Cornett were phenomenal defensively. Jaylen and Jayson were about as bad as you can possibly be on defense for the entire game, and it looks different because Jaylen Brown is one of the worst off-ball defenders when he's not fully locked in. He wasn't. And Jayson Tatum is one of the worst transition defenders when he's not locked in. And he wasn't. And so they both give up a million points in those spots. And the issue with Tatum in particular is he's always the first one back because he's always the one taking the threes. Like that is where his most shot profile is, at the top of the key threes. And that's not even like to say they're good or bad. It's just that's where he shoots a lot from. So he's the first one back on defense, and he's not a good transition defender when he's not locked in. So those are the problems. I think that's mainly why they lost that game. And of course, like obviously some of the shot selection and some of the stuff could have been better at the end of the game. I'm not saying the offense was perfect. I think it was pretty okay for most of the game, but they didn't react to when the shots weren't falling well enough on defense. So that's what I looked at. Regardless, welcome to Celtics fandom, RJ. That's how it be. Sometimes that's kind of how it goes. So
just a bunch of angry people complaining, screaming into microphones, tweeting, posting, whatever you want to call it.
It's great.
It's how this time of year is.
It's lame. Anyways, before we continue, I need to tell you guys about Gametime. It's the best place for all your ticketing needs this baseball season, this basketball playoff season, this hockey playoff season, except the Bruins are nowhere to be found. Let me show you exactly some of the best features on Gametime so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at Revolution tickets. No, let's take a look at Red Sox Rangers, or Rangers at Red Sox, I should say, and take a look at Fenway Park. My favorite part about Gametime is you can click on the seat you are potentially interested in purchasing and see the exact view that you will get from that seat. So right here, you can see what the outfield looks like from the seat that you click. You can toggle on and off the feature. They'll show you fees so you don't get surprised with anything at checkout. This fire emblem here means it's the cheapest deal in the stadium. These stars here mean it's an amazing deal. And the highlighted star means it's a super deal, which they view as in the top 1% in terms of value for the venue. You can also get zone deals at Gametime, which is you can just pick a zone of the stadium, pay a cheaper price, and then get seated anywhere in that zone for the cheaper price, so you can save a little bit more dough during your ticketing process. On top of that, you get last minute deals at Gametime, which means you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater, which is also important. It's not just sports. You can go to concerts, you can go to comedy shows, you can go to performances like theater. Everything you can possibly want for your ticketing needs can be found on Gametime. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, let's jump into the NBA. Can we just start with what is the most recent in our minds? Let's not go in chronological order.
Yeah.
Pacers, man. Listen, I'm going to keep saying I said it because guess what? I said it. It was always the Pacers. It's been the Pacers. They're constantly the most underrated team in the Eastern Conference. And Tyrese Halliburton is a dog.
So the Pacers have stunned the Cavs again. They won 120 to 119 yesterday. This was a game that I watched, like adjacently watched it for the majority of it. Like I was playing Xbox. I have a TV over here. My Xbox goes on my top monitor. And I'm just kind of like looking over and I'm like, damn, like, can't believe the Pacers aren't closer in this game. Like Cleveland without Mobley, without Garland, without Hunter. And they're running away with it. Mitchell's having this really impressive game where he's putting up a lot of points. He was pretty efficient in doing so. He ends up with 48 on the night. My God, I didn't even realize he had that many points. But that was just eclipsed by the end of the game. It was a disaster for them. They were up 7 with like, what was it, a minute and a half, maybe a minute left, something crazy like that.
Under 2 minutes.
Indiana, what was it? Under 2 minutes. Had been pushed. Indiana had been pushing back to get into this game in the fourth quarter. They were down 20. I look up, it's 11, and then I'm like watching for the rest of the game. Cleveland sealed this game like 5 times, and it wasn't enough. Like there were so many possessions. I was like, okay, like that Strus 3 is going to be the end of it. Like that's a big shot from him. Crowd gets on its feet, puts him up 7, and you're just like, okay, like they're going to finish it off.
Or stop paying attention.
But I almost turned it off. I really almost turned it off, and I didn't. And then they come down. I think Siakam gets an and one. Then there's another play where Nesmith gets an offensive rebound off a free throw and dunks it to cut it to 4.
He drew an offensive foul too to get possession back.
Then immediately draws the offensive foul on Mitchell, and they turn it over. And then I think, was that the one where Halliburton gets fouled and then they get the ball back? Or no, there was another possession in between. Like everything possible went wrong for the Cavs. They had sealed the game a billion times. They had probably 5 or 6 chances to seal it again as Indiana had come back. And they did not do any of it, turning it over with the offensive foul, giving up multiple multiple rebounds off of free throws. Unreal. Halliburton hits the step back over Ty Jerome. Maybe this is not a other teams thing anymore. Like you said, it was always the Pacers. This is now the second time in this playoffs that they have stormed back from the dead
I have a stat for you.
multiple times.
NBA teams that are trailing by 7 with under a minute to go in the fourth quarter overtime. Right? So down by 7,
Yep.
under a minute in the game, right? Fourth quarter OT. They are 3 and 1,641. And 2 of those 3 are the Pacers in the last week. 3 teams out of almost 1,650 chances have won in that situation. And the Pacers have 2 of them in the last, unbelievable. My thing about the Pacers, and I was talking about this today. The Pacers so playoff basketball, right? It's defense. It is slow pace. It is put the ball in your star's hand, get them the shot no matter what. The Pacers do the exact opposite of all of that constantly. They play fast-paced basketball. They aren't great defensively, even though they've turned up the heat. And they don't care about force-feeding shots to their best players. You look at the game yesterday, Tyrese Halliburton had 11 shot attempts, right? He had 11 shot attempts. Turner had 17. He led the team. Siakam took 8 shots and only 5 free throws. So it's not like he was like took a million shots and he got fouled a bunch. Nesmith, 13 shots. Nembhard, 13 shots. Mathurin, 10 shots. Toppin is 6. Like they just spread the ball around. They had 85 shot attempts and nobody took more than 17 in Turner. Right? You look at the scoring. Miles Turner, 23. Nesmith, 23. Mathurin, 19. Those were the scoring leaders. Tyrese Halliburton, 19 as well. Nembhard, 13, 7, 13. I saw a stat that said Andrew Nembhard didn't have a single game in the NBA regular season. He was hurt, but still, where he made 3 or more threes, and he's done it in all but like 2 games in the playoffs, or 3 games now because he didn't do it last night. Like, Pacers just turn up, man. They have a phenomenal group of talented players, and the only reason people don't respect them is because they don't have like the megastar. They don't have a Tatum. They don't have a Luka. They don't have a Jokic. They don't have one of those. Like,
Also might be
I need to find this stat as well. Huh? Yes.
Might just be where they're located. If you put them in orange and blue, people would be bing-bonging all the way home.
Yes. After last night's win, in the calendar year of 2025, Pacers are 40 and 15. Like, they've been good. People just
they had a really rough start to the season. Halliburton wasn't good to start it. Yeah. They found their footing. Also, a weird really part of this game, Mitchell afterwards was like, I couldn't move. Like, was he tired? Is that what he was saying, or did he get hurt? Not to say I wouldn't blame him.
I didn't see that quote.
He had 48 points. Let's see. I saw it last night. It was something like I could barely move.
I don't know, but he took 30 shots. Yeah, the Pacers had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players take 8 or more shots. I guess the Cavs had 5, but one of their guys took 30 and one took 18. Bro, oh my God. Ty Jerome shot 1 of 14. Yikes. Not a good night. I mean, they're also very hurt. Like, you can't discount the fact that, no Garland, no DeAndre Hunter, no Evan Mobley is not good. But
he said
you always say it. You're in.
Found it.
I believe it. Of course, everyone's hurt right now. 100% everyone's hurt right now. And there's no discounting the fact that they haven't had Garland in this series. You missed Mobley, Hunter, Garland last night in the game you lost, but you're also up 7 with less than 2 minutes to play. Like, there comes a point where it doesn't matter. Listen, if Mobley and Garland aren't back for games 3 and 4, 5, it's done. Like, you just don't win the series after this momentum. I'm not saying the Cavs are out of it. Cavs have been too good all year to count them out yet. This is a damn good Pacers team.
They didn't win it, but Denver went down 0-2 at home and then won the next 2 on the road. We've seen the Celtics win a series, losing the first 2, then winning 4 straight. Like, it is possible. Granted, the Bulls series was a weird one because Rondo got hurt, and then they all of a sudden were a different team. But we can't sit here and pretend like this is dead, but you're not feeling good if you're a Cavs fan. Indiana has not been, like, they're not a joke team that's going to roll over either. Like, you can't even, like, look at them like you looked at the Wolves last year and be like, well, like, they're not experienced. Like, The Pacers made the conference finals last year. They played the Celtics as good as anybody did. And we all have respected them all year long. And we've talked very highly of them in the playoffs because of it, because we all kind of just realized, yeah, like looks like last year all over again. What a way to lose a game. Like all of these teams at home are just having awful losses. I don't know why. I don't know if it makes me feel better about Monday. I hope to God by the time you guys are all hearing this, they won game 2. Because if they lost game 2 tonight, I don't know what to tell you.
We'll see. We'll see.
Shall we move on, or you got anything else on the Cavs?
I don't know if I have much more on the Cavs, man. Max Strus was having a tough post-game interview. Yeah,
Why? What
he was
happened?
like, it was
This I
just like
didn't
what
see.
went. It was just like what went wrong. He's like, we lost. What do you need to do better? He goes, not blow the lead in the fourth quarter. Like he's just like quick response. Like you could just tell he was like pissed. Which
Yeah.
yeah.
I always think like when we're in the room, when we're at the post-game press conferences, I'm always like, this is such a weird concept. Like I can't imagine playing a men's league game and then having to answer questions about what went wrong and give really thoughtful answers. Like I don't think we understand how difficult it can be for somebody if they really care about what just happened, and then to go up there and
It's
be like, oh
impossible.
yeah, like this.
It's got to be hard.
Oof. Speaking of bad home losses, Minnesota yesterday has this incredible series win against the Lakers. Like they dominate the series. We talked about going into it. You felt like they were going to have an advantage with Rudy and the size, with Golden State having a lack of size. Yet they fall flat in a game where Steph Curry doesn't even play the final 30 minutes?
Long time.
Because he has a hamstring strain. Yeah. So he didn't play the majority of this. Steph only played 12 minutes. He was good in his 12 minutes. He had 13 points, 3 of 6 from 3, 5-9 overall. And when halftime comes around, Minnesota has scored 31 points. They finished the day with just 88. They hold the Warriors to 99, but that's to be understood with Steph not playing. They really missed a good opportunity to take a series lead here. Threw up on their shoes. Anthony Edwards has this nightmare first half. I think he was 0 of 8. Had a pretty decent second half, came alive, got to the basket, and was impactful, but they couldn't finish off a comeback. They had Pat Spencer out there hitting hook shots on him. Number 61 on the Warriors. I saw somebody say he was a 2K created guy.
Pat Spencer's good. The Spencer brothers are
tough
good.
loss. Tough loss for the Wolves at home.
Bad loss.
Like this is a game that you have to win.
It's just their offense is so inconsistent. Like the whole thing of the Lakers series was, oh my God, Jaden McDaniels is incredible, Nasri is incredible, Julius Randle's incredible, Rudy Gobert, like all the role players stepped up, right? And Nas was good in this game. He had a 14-3-7. Jaden McDaniels was 6-12, yeah, but he only had 12 points and he didn't get to the line at all, and he missed all his threes. Julius Randle was 4 of 11, 0 of 3. He shot 10 of 10 for the free throw line, so like that context is important too. But then Ant, 9 of 22, 1 of 5, like. They just didn't have the offense. Mike Conley, 0 of 5. DiVincenzo, 3 of 11, 1 of 7. Like, if those guys aren't hitting shots, they shot 5 of 29 from 3. It's going to be tough to beat a Warriors team, which even without Steph Curry, like, they've got guys who can score the ball, right? Buddy Hield, 5 of 8 from 3. Like, he objectively can shoot. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA the last 10 years. But more importantly, this is the whole entire reason the Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler. It is, I mean, in the best scenario, it is when Steph's on the bench. But in the disaster case of Steph is hurt, you don't just automatically lose anymore because you have Jimmy Butler. And dude almost had a triple-double, 20, 11, and 8. The Warriors also benefited from the fact that Draymond shot 4 or 10 from 3. Like
How about my man Draymond?
He made a few.
He started 4 or 5.
Same thing with Gary Payton, 2 of 3 from 3. Like if those guys are hitting your threes, you also have to be hitting your threes. So credit Jimmy, credit Buddy Hield for stepping up. He's had a monster last couple games now for the Warriors. Him and Jimmy have a very funny podium relationship, which I have enjoyed watching a little bit. And this is a good Warriors team, man. This is not a 7 seed. This is also the first time in NBA history that the home teams have lost every single game 1 of the second round. So there you go.
What a day from Draymond, though. I love Draymond. I like that he is like one of the last like motherfuckers out there. Even though I feel like there starting to be more of them popping up here and there. Him just having 4 or 5 from 3 to start this game was hilarious. I would be so mad. I would be so mad if Gary Payton was making the threes like that. It was a tough night for the Wolves, but they just couldn't score the ball. Like you mentioned Randall. I don't think I noticed Randall when I was watching this game at all. I was like, "Oh shit." When I looked at the box score, I was like, "He is on this team." Not good for Randall. Naz Reid was really the only other guy that I thought was making a real impact. Fourth quarter, he stepped up big time and kind of helped them make their final fake push to get back into the game. It's tough to say because the Celtics, well, the only team to play 2 games are the Cavs Pacers as we're talking right now. But I almost wonder like if this is the worst of all the losses.
No, I don't think even
Not
close.
excluding Cavs
I think this
Pacers,
is
like thinking Celtics, thinking Thunder, thinking this series. Like this
I
feels like a
think
pretty brutal chance that they missed.
I don't even think this is top 2.
So
Like
you think
I
this
think
is the least concerning of Oklahoma City, Boston, and Minnesota?
yes, for sure. Because
I
like
feel
the
the
solution
complete
in this.
opposite.
Oh well, listen. Like the solution in this Minnesota game. Like I'm not saying you should be concerned about Celtics Knicks, but I think the way they lost that game is significantly worse than the way the Timberwolves lost this game. Timberwolves lost this game because their offense creation was dog shit. They couldn't create offense the whole night. Like that, and you can like point to that. And there was a whole thing. There was never like it was good and then we shit all over themselves. The Celtics and the Thunder shit all over themselves. Like after showing that they
Yeah.
can win. Like there's like I just think the Wolves didn't have it all night. Like they didn't have it. They failed, and the Warriors role players hit their shots, and that's fine. And I mean, if that happens all series, you lose the series. But the Thunder and the Celtics showed they have a formula to win that game, and then they like blew it, and then they choked. Like the Celtics defense turned to mush. Their shot went ice cold, and they let the Knicks come back in. And we'll talk about the Thunder in a sec. Mark Dagnall fouls up 3-4 times in the last like 20 seconds. They miss 2 free throws, and they lose Aaron Gordon. Like there's execution errors that happens at both of the end of those games. And I'm not saying that the Wolves like were great executionally and just missed shots, but like in my mind, it's easier to wipe that one away. Like we didn't have it. We'll bounce back. We know we can produce offense. It is what it is. We'll bounce back the next one. And I think the Celtics and Thunder will be the same way. But in the Celtics and Thunder, they're like, shit, we should have won that game. There was no point in this Wolves Warriors game that I was like, oh, they should have won that game. No, they got killed. They should not have won that game. The Thunder and Celtics should have won those games, in my opinion.
The reason why, and it's just such like a simple idiot guy take, and listen, this could be negated if this lingers, but Steph not being in this game for this entire back half of the second quarter and the entire second half, you have to take it. You have to take advantage of that if you're Minnesota. Like this is not the game
but
you can lose, but it's a strain. That's what they diagnosed it as during the game. Like we saw the Drew strain, we saw how long it took him to get back. I don't think it's nothing. Like he may miss game 2, so you may have another chance to capitalize in a series. And also another reason why I feel so strongly about this loss is going into it. The series was probably the closest of the 3 that we're talking about in terms of betting lines, which doesn't mean anything, but it's just a way to measure like how everybody feels about the probability each team will advance. Like Oklahoma City, Boston were heavy favorites. They still are heavy favorites despite losing game 1. Minnesota, it feels more like they have less room for error than the other 2 teams do. So I think it's like a weighted, like maybe not in a vacuum, the worst loss, but just considering the circumstances, that kind of sucks.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, you never want to lose a game when the other team is missing their best player. Like that, like if the Pacers had lost that game with Garland and Mobley out, they'd be like, all right, well, shit. Like, how did we lose that game? They're missing 2 of their guys. But I don't know. It's just like the manner in which the teams lost each individual game, like you said, in a vacuum, like the Wolves. Like if you take away all players and they're just nameless, faceless, like whatever, and just like stats, the Timberwolves were never winning that game. The Celtics and Thunder should have won those games.
They had the win.
Exactly. They had it and then they choked it, which let's talk about it right now. Thunder Nuggets game 1. So I caught the end of this game on my train ride home, and I probably looked like an idiot when Aaron Gordon hit that shot because I'm watching on my laptop and there's like it's like a pretty empty train car. There's people, but
I've seen you watch games.
I just sit there like like mouth agape, like what? I literally said out like oh my god. What an unbelievable choke job by that Thunder team. Like this,
Have
when I was like,
Go ahead.
coaches are like usually get too much blame. Shit, man, you put yourself in the firing line with that one, Dagnall. That was some interesting tactics, like fouling that consistently up by that much just for your guy to miss the free throws when that is the foundation of your entire plan. Not great. And then losing Aaron Gordon in transition and all this stuff. And listen, Aaron Gordon's not a great 3-point shooter, so the fact that he made it is, I guess, frustrating enough. But
he shot like 40% this year, right?
I don't know. He's like, listen, I always think percentages are fake a little bit to an extent. You have to look at volume. You have to look at contested. You have to look at uncontested. You have to look at the team around them. He's shooting 43.6% in the playoffs this year. In the regular season this year, he did, yes. But it was on 3.4 attempts. And I wonder how many of them were wide open. Then again, the one at the end of this game was wide open. So that is the shot he's been making all year. Still, regardless, he is a career 33% 3-point shooter, and he hasn't shot above 30% or 35% in his career ever.
He's at 33 for the playoffs, to your point.
He's never shot above 35% in the regular season on threes. This is the first year he shot well from three. Which, credit to him. This is not a knock on Aaron Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon rocks. He's awesome. I think he was one of our, like, a couple years ago, he's like top 2 role player in the NBA. Him and Derek White are the peak role player guy. So
yeah,
credit him. But shit, man, the Thunder, I can't believe the way they lost this game. And to me, I'm done rambling in a second, I promise.
Okay.
The Aaron Gordon shot was one thing. That Jokic 3, top of the key in Isaiah Hartenstein's face with like a minute to go.
He did the big fat balls. Guy version of the mellow jab step. Okay, I'm finally gonna shoot it thing that Melo would do. He just fires it up. Have you ever seen The Joker, the first one? No.
Where he like blows up the building? I've seen clips.
No, not the Dark. That's the Dark Knight. The Joker is the one where he wears. It's Joaquin Phoenix. He has the red suit, and it's like his origin story, so to speak. It's like it came out a couple years ago.
I've seen like bits and pieces. That's the one where his mom is like sick, but also like awful, and he like takes care of her or whatever. Or am I still wrong?
So
not well enough to understand. Put that way.
The end of that movie, he is invited on like essentially the universe's version of like the Jimmy Fallon show, and Robert De Niro is playing the host, and he's like kind of making fun of him, and then the Joker just pulls out a gun and shoots him, and he goes, "You get what you fucking deserve." Mark Dagnall, you get what you fucking deserve. Fouling up 3, in my opinion, is the most dishonorable, besides like the foul baiting bullshit, the most dishonorable strategy you could possibly have. I don't like it. I think they should ban it. I believe that no matter who is doing it, if the Celtics do it, I still think it's dishonorable. He got what he deserved. You try and game the system. He didn't do it right because he bought them extra time, bought them extra possessions. If you're going to do that, you should try and let them bleed as much clock organically as you can before you let them get stoppages and then free timeless shots. But it did bring a smile on my face when I realized that was the method of their demise. I hate that so much.
It's like what the Celtics did last year, but worse. And you probably didn't even notice. I remember them talking about it on podcasts.
The Celtics would foul if it was like a 6 or something, just to make sure they couldn't even get within
a 1 possession game. Yeah, Mazzulla fouled the Pacers up 6 in OT of game 1.
I think it's I stand by it. Like I'm pretty like down the middle if it comes to that or the 3-point stuff too. Like when guys get fouled in threes and like Tatum falls down, I'm like, nah, it shouldn't have been a foul. Like I'm fair. I'm not that not fair.
I agree with the fouling up 3. I think it's lame. I still think your no fouls on 3-point shots is the most ridiculous take.
I know that one is like it's wrong. Extreme, but like I can't really explain it properly. Like I think there should be a more.
I think it is at the core of your soul. You are anti-threes, and so anybody who gets rewarded for taking a 3 you don't like.
I think if you just take like
subconsciously
hard threes, you shouldn't get rewarded. Like that's just what I think. Like if you're you really shouldn't be taking a 3 with the guy like close enough to like land in your space, unless the shot clock is going off. Like I don't know. It's neither here nor there. The fouling up 3 thing is dishonorable. It's bad. I think they should ban it. It's bad for the viewership.
What do you think
of strategy? But Rip Bozo.
Then what do you think of intentionally fouling like Mitchell Robinson in Game 1 for the Celtics?
I
I feel like it's
think
similar
that
concept.
I don't think it's similar because it doesn't hinder, like, it doesn't take suspense out of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
it's
it
not
takes away
like
the essence of the game in the same way, in my opinion.
I think if you're in the NBA, you should be able to make free throws. If I can watch a game and be like, I would make that shot and tell you and mean it and feel it in my soul that I would make that shot.
I-
Mitchell Robinson, who gets paid a bunch of money to play basketball, should be able to make that fucking shot. And
I
his
agree,
free throw mechanics are so broken. I
it
don't
takes away from
think.
the spirit of the
Go ahead.
game. Like I think that's why people hate the up three. And like I understand there's less suspense involved, but it takes away from those moments. Like you're literally just stopping basketball to play a free throw contest, and I think it's lame. I get
I
it.
think
Like I
it's
understand
different.
why they do it, but I think it's a similar vein outside of like if you take away the suspense part.
I think it's different because there's a skill involved for one of the motivations. It's like this guy cannot shoot free throws. At the end of the game, Steph Curry's kind of a bad example because he's like the best shooter ever from three, as well as free throws. Like he's an incredible free throw shooter. But you're not afraid of the guy making the free throws. Like you want him to make 2 free throws. That is your goal. You're trying to encourage the other team to score. The hack-a-shack type thing is a defensive strategy. I do not think this guy is going to make this shot. It's not, I don't care if he makes these shots because they need 3 points instead of 2 points. Like, I think that's where the difference comes in. Like, the Knicks can avoid the Hacker Robinson by not playing him.
I get it, but it's still at its core a math game that takes away from the actual sport, in my opinion. And I think it's lame. I fully understand why.
Than the regular, like, I didn't think of it like that until you brought it up. Like, I can see it, but there is like a get good aspect to it where
I get why it's
when you're
different.
down 3.
Yes. No, I get why
it doesn't matter.
100% it's different. I think it's similar enough to where I want to talk about it. Anyways, rat list, I believe it's time for. What do you got?
It is time for the rat list. I had a rat list that I had forgotten to tell the other day. I do not remember what it is. So let me think for a moment, please.
Sure. What can I rat list? Oh, you know what a rat list? So I was leaving practice the other day, right? And I had already so I live like about a 20-minute walk from the practice facility, but I was working on my TikTok, my video, and so I was a little bit late. So I was like, fuck, if I'm gonna be late if I don't Uber, right? So I Ubered. It's like $5. That's not the point. The point is I was just mad that I like spaced out so much that I had to put myself in that situation, right? Then I get there and I realized I think the times were wrong. Like it said media at 12 or 12:45, arrive at 12:20. It's usually practice at 12 this, arrive here for media. And so I think they mixed them up because I could have easily walked. I did not have to do that, right? And so I just sat around and I should have wasted money. I go to leave, about to walk home, like I'm gonna get Dunkin', then I'm home, pouring rain. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna walk 20 fucking minutes in pouring rain, but I still want Dunkin'. So I'll Uber there and I'll walk home from Dunkin'. So I still walk a little bit and I still get my food. End up, walking or Ubering to Dunkin', whatever. It takes a long time because no one wants to take that short of an Uber ride or whatever. Get to Dunkin', start walking home, barely raining. Give me a fucking break. Like,
They got you.
All right.
Weather gods, Mother Nature, just drop step dunked on you in the post. Rat list is the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. So Monday night, obviously Jack's at the game. I'm at the game. I got to drive home afterwards. I got a good spot on Monday. Didn't have to pay for it. It was one of those ones that's like 2-hour limit. Parked there at 4. There was no meter. Very good. I go to get on 93, go to get in the tunnel. They have the on-ramp closed, this has happened to me before. Like it happens every once in a while.
Right by,
in the north end.
Right if you leave the garden and then you take a left and then you go on the on-ramp. Yeah, I know it.
That was closed
last year too.
We had a bunch of funny guys in the Department of Transportation that wanted to close it on a game night. Then I drive through. So when I used to park at Dock Square Garage, every time I would go to a game, you kind of like exit a different way. Like you go past City Hall, and then there's like another on-ramp on like the other side of the city. That ramp was closed too. I did not need the on-ramps to 93 to be closed on Monday. I was already upset enough. Like I take playoff losses, especially teams I hate, to heart still. I haven't quite been hardened enough as a media member to be like, I don't care. Do I think it's going to kill them? No, but I was so mad already. I was screaming. I finally get on the 93. I'm in the tunnel, and they have it so the lane that I am merging on in typically does not disappear, but they have cones that make it a slow disappearance merge because there are people working. And there's a car in the lane to my right with two other lanes wide open that is just not going to let me in. When they could have just went over into the other lanes, I was furious, screaming. It's like 12 o'clock, just absolutely fuming in my car. How do you like? I think when I'm driving and there's nobody else on the road, I want to be as far away from where cars could be as possible. Why would you even bother? Why would you not move over? The people in Massachusetts, and I guess it kind of stems to Rhode Island too. I don't know about the rest of New England. I don't really drive there. They have this pride thing where they just don't want to let people in. I get it when it's traffic and you feel like somebody's trying to game the system.
So what did you do?
And
Like
like
go
go around
behind them?
Yeah.
Or were you stuck?
I had to
Yeah.
slow down.
Yeah.
This could have all been avoided if they could have just moved over and kept driving. I don't know why they did me like that. I was so pissed.
It's a pride thing, man. Fuck out the way. What else do I got? I was watching Pacers Cavs last night, and it was like whatever game, like a X point game, and I like left and like turned it or like went to get my food. I was like, oh, this game's over. I come back and I see the Pacers celebrating. I was like, what? And I had to like rewind the whole thing so I could see the ending because I just had no idea. So I got screwed, and I missed the ending. It's fine.
Be like that sometimes, man. Ratless, my dad's birthday was Sunday. He and my mom went on a trip, so I didn't see him till yesterday because they got back Monday. I was at the game Monday, so on. So we celebrated his birthday yesterday. Typically for my dad's birthday, I'll get us tickets to a Red Sox game. He loves baseball. He likes all sports, but he likes baseball. We used to go all the time. I was like, we'll go.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him like we got the tickets to this game, whatever. And I say, sorry, I didn't, spend as much as I usually would because I don't have any money right now, whatever. I'm fine. Like people listening to this have been saying nice things to me. I'm okay. Don't worry. But I'm just like, I can't afford to be like, I'm gonna spend mad money on this. So, he's like, oh, thank you, whatever. And then like a little bit of time goes by. He's like, like if you want, like you can return the tickets and just get me this thing instead. And it was more money. And I was like, what the hell, man? Like, no. It's like, I don't want to do that. Also, it's like we're going to do something together. That's part of the fun.
What did he want?
He wanted a baseball bat. He just broke his bat. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, damn it. Then my feelings are hurt.
That's so funny. He just wants a bat, man. Hey, you play softball or something? Like he plays a softball league?
He plays baseball.
That's
an old
fun.
man league.
That's so
speaking
fun.
of, we just talked about it. Steph Curry out for game 2.
Oh, yeah?
Breaking news. Yep.
Shubs, yeah. Now that's a win. You need to win that if you're Minnesota now.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
Now it's a must win. I don't know what else there is to rat list. Ratless, Peyton Pritchard, and the Celtics were taking forever at shoot around today. That's not fun. Sam Hauser's wearing like a calf sleeve instead of an ankle thing, so I don't know what that's about. So that's weird.
That is bizarre.
Outside of that, though, chilling. Knicks fans found my TikTok and they liked it a lot. I got a lot of
Which
Knicks
one?
followers.
The defense.
The one about game 1. Yeah, the one about the Celtics defense. I think what they liked was, and like this is not like the ratless Knicks fans. This is like actually like respect. I think there were a lot of Celtics content out there that is just like they just miss threes. They're still easy. Like it's just because they miss. Which like to a point, yes. Like I do think the Celtics miss a lot of threes that they usually make, but that's not an excuse for the other mistakes they made to lose that game. Like they didn't just lose that game because they missed a bunch of threes, and I don't even think that's the main thing. So I think a lot of those people liked it, and yeah, so it was interesting to get a lot of you know what I'm saying. Knicks
They're a passionate
followers.
bunch. I mean, you were like one of the only people that actually gave them credit. Like they did something to impact.
They deserved credit.
I was actually thinking about this today. I'm sorry to people listening because this chat is probably not going to be as relevant now that game 2 has happened when this releases. But I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, like we've all just been sitting here doing the thing that people say where it's like cope, like we're all in the copium, like, oh man, this won't happen again. I wrote an article about it for Hardwood Houdini, which will be up by now, about like, man, what if this happens? Like, what if the worst possible thing happens in game 2? And I was like, man, like, what if this isn't like that fluky? What if they figured something out? Like, I feel like we always have that, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. But good for you, man. I'm glad they're being nice to you because they were not nice to us when they found the Brunson defense thing. They were pissed.
Yeah, people did not like that much. But
also, I saw a fight outside the Garden where the Knicks fan and Celtics fan were fighting, and the Knicks fan was like in a full suit. He looked sharp. Wasn't playing a game. Celtics
Fight,
fan
like
had
fist
his
fighting?
stomach out. Yeah, cop broke it up
That's
pretty
funny.
quickly. But
That's funny.
the Celtics guy had his stomach out. I was like, oh, I wonder who's going to win this fight. I was like, this is going to be
Who won-
bad for all of us.
who
They
won
broke
the
it up
fight?
before anybody got really like humiliated. So
Good.
it was a draw.
Fighting in a suit, so funny. What an interesting thing.
Last thing, somebody sent me this video of an usher at the Pittsburgh Pirates game fighting a fan spit on the guy or whatever, and then they fought. So the fan spits on the guy, and the usher swings on him and like beats his ass pretty good. And then the fan like takes his hat off, takes his jacket off, like he's getting ready to fight. It's like you didn't think you should call it a day after that. Like it was pretty clear what was going to happen. Didn't go well.
Yeah, I think I briefly saw that too. Not great. Not great. That's all I got. You have anything else?
That's it. We can wrap it up.
All right. In that case, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. We're here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps drop the one after each game. Other videos are on the channel in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us doing pregame streams here on the channel too for a half hour before each tip-off. We're here hanging out with the chat, doing our prize picks, playing GeoGuessr if we have the service to do so. So it's a lot of fun. Come hang out. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are up there. So if you just want those, go ahead, follow. It'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review and tell your friends. We would appreciate that very, very much. You can email us. hbtcpod@gmail.com is the address. Send your thoughts in on this series. I'm sure it's an emotional one through 2 games already. hbtcpod@gmail.com. You can find us on socials at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's just the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Check Taco. Come on.
Taco's
Taco.
having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.